everyone. I hope you all are fine at your places and are keeping a pace with your teachers. Last time I came up with my video lecture based on glucose breakdown pathways and how energy is produced in our body. And today I have come up with a new topic here, and that is about the transportation in human being. So the term transportation means to move something from one place to another place, and how it is taking place in our body. That is our today's topic. So when we think about an organism like amoeba, it is a single celled body, and every part of the body is in contact with the outer environment. And for such an organism, it is very easy to take up the material from the surrounding, like respiratory gases by diffusion, to take the food by the process of endocytosis, and to excrete out the waste by means of exocytosis. But that is not the case in case of multicellular organism like human being. So why there is a need of a system in our body? We have a multicellular body design, and all the cells are not in direct contact with the outer environment. So for transportation of respiratory gases, nutrition and of waste material in our body, a system is required. Now what are the components of that transportation system, which can be called as the circulatory system? So three main components are here, that is your heart, blood and blood vessel. All three, they are working here for the transportation of substances in our body from one part to the other part. One more component we will take here, that will be the lymphatic system, but we will talk about that a bit later. So here it comes the diagram or the anatomical structure of your heart. Basically our heart, it's a structure that is having a size of a fist of human, and it is located between our lungs and a bit tilted toward our left lung. And your heart is resting on a membrane that is called as the diaphragm. Internally when we view it, heart is having four chambers. Two atria, upper chambers, and two ventricles, lower chamber. Left atrium open into the left ventricle by means of a bicuspid valve, and right atrium opens into the right ventricle by means of a tricuspid valve. And the two sides of your heart, as you can see, they are separated by a septum here. That means there is no way of having any connection between the two sides of your heart. It means left side of your heart do not have any communication with the right side of your heart. Then certain blood vessels will enter into the heart, and some of them will leave the heart. I have come up here with a diagram that is given in your NCERT book also. So you can see here, two sides they are shown here. Left atrium, left ventricle, right atrium, right ventricle. Then you can see the septum in between the two. Then here vena cava from the lower body. So vena cava is the largest vein that is bringing the deoxygenated blood from your body to the right side of your heart. Same here we can see vena cava from the upper body, again a big vein that is bringing the deoxygenated blood from the upper part of your body toward the right atrium of your heart. Here on the left side we can see pulmonary veins. They are there. These pulmonary veins are coming from your lungs, that is bringing oxygenated blood from the lungs to your left atrium. And you can see the pulmonary arteries and aorta. These are the blood vessels which are coming out of the heart. Basically arteries are coming from the heart and are ending onto the organs, and veins, they are coming from the organs and are ending onto the heart. You can see here left ventricle will open into the aorta, and right ventricle will open into the pulmonary arteries by means of these valves here, which are termed as the semilunar valve. Now I have used the term valve here. These valves, as I have told you, bicuspid, tricuspid, semilunar valve are here. These valves are there meant for which prevent the backflow of the blood. It means once blood has gone out, there is no chance of coming back of that blood. So that is about the structure of your heart from the internal view. That is called as the anatomy of your heart. Now coming on to the working of your heart. So when it comes to the working of heart, left as well as right side of your heart is receiving the blood simultaneously. As I have told you, left side is receiving the blood by means of pulmonary veins from your lungs. That is, left side contains oxygenated blood. And the right side, it is receiving the blood by means of vena cava, superior and inferior vena cava from the body organs. It means right side of your heart is containing the deoxygenated blood. The two atria, they are getting filled simultaneously with these two types of blood. Once they got filled here, as your heart, it is having a system of its own conduction of the nerve impulse. It is having its own pacemaker. So once the atria, they are filled with the blood, what happens? Pacemaker present on the right wall of the right atrium will start the wave of contraction. As a result, the blood from the two atria, it will pass on to the respective ventricles. Only to the respective ventricles, there will be no mixing or shifting of blood between the two sides. Now, atria are having less blood and ventricles are filled with the blood. Once the ventricles are filled with the blood, what happens? The wave of contraction reaches to the ventricles. Now it's the turn of the ventricles to get contracted. But chances are there that the blood can flow back to the atrium on the contraction of ventricles. So what happens? The valves, bicuspid and tricuspid valve, that will show a tight closure and will make your first heart sound, that is called as lub. Now the blood is under very high pressure in the ventricles. So blood has to move somewhere. At that time, what happens? Semilunar valve, which are opening into the aorta as well as into the pulmonary artery, will open and will pass the blood to the lungs and toward the body parts. As the lungs are meant for oxygenation of the blood, so the blood which is deoxygenated, that is in the right ventricle, will pass into the pulmonary arteries and will be given to the lungs for the further oxygenation. And on the other side, the blood which is found in the left ventricle, it is an oxygenated blood. It has to be transported to the various body parts and that will pass by means of the aorta. As the blood passes out, again ventricle will have less blood. So chances are there that blood can flow back. The blood can come back from the lungs. The blood can come back from the body parts. Just to prevent this backflow here, semilunar valve will show a tight closure and will make your heart second sound, that is called as the dub. So our heart is having two sounds, lub and dub. Lub sound is produced on the tight closure of the bicuspid and tricuspid valve and dub sound is produced by the closure of the semilunar valve. And this is called as the cardiac cycle. So students, I think you have got the idea about the blood circulation through our heart. Our heart is the pumping organ and that is it is helping in the passing of the blood and receiving of the blood from various organs. The difference between the right and left side of your heart, I have mentioned here few points. Right side will contain deoxygenated blood from various body parts and send it to the lungs for oxygenation. Whereas left side is containing the oxygenated blood from the lungs and sent to the various body parts for the delivering of oxygen. So that was about the first part of your circulatory system, that is about heart. Then it comes to the second part of your circulatory system, that is blood. Blood is composed of following components: blood plasma, blood corpuscles. Corpuscle will include red blood cells, white blood cells and platelets, and blood also have certain protein which are floating in the plasma. It is a kind of the fluid connective tissue in our body because plasma is a fluid which is the matrix of blood. Coming on to the third component, that is about blood vessels. Blood vessel will mainly involve arteries, veins and capillaries. Arteries are the blood vessel which contains oxygenated blood except pulmonary arteries. I will discuss about this later on. Then veins, it contains deoxygenated blood except pulmonary veins. And capillaries, they supply and receive the blood from various tissues. Now differences between the arteries and veins. Arteries contains oxygenated blood except the pulmonary artery, because I have told you arteries will arise from the heart. But the pulmonary arteries, they are arising from the heart but are containing the deoxygenated blood. Okay. Then veins, they contain deoxygenated blood except pulmonary vein. Arteries originate from the heart and end onto the body organs, whereas veins originate from the body organs and end up on the heart. Arteries have blood with high pressure, whereas in veins, blood flow with a low pressure. Arteries do not have valves, whereas the veins, they are having valves. Thick walls in the arteries and narrow lumen is observed, whereas in case of the vein, thin walls are there and wide lumen it is present. Arteries are more elastic to withstand the high pressure, veins are less elastic. Arteries are deep seated in our body, whereas veins are superficial. So that's about for today's topic, students. Next I will come up with my next topic, that is the double circulation. So today we have covered about the cardiac cycle and I hope you have understand the concept. Thank you.